Okay, class, this is going to be the first video for the second week. Just to save myself a little bit more effort, what I'm going to do is grab this little icon here and drag it to my desktop. So it creates a link on my desktop. So every time I want to go to that website, I could just double click it and then sign in. Also, when I double click this, it opens up Notepad. I'd rather open it with the PowerShell utility. So I'm going to right click, go to properties, change. I'm going to browse for another application. This PC, the C drive, Windows System 32. I'm going to go to Windows PowerShell, version 1.0. And then I'm going to choose this program. Click OK. So when I open it, it'll automatically open in PowerShell. Then press play. To get to my Exchange Management Console. Okay, so guys, I have a data file here. Just trying to figure out where it's at. Okay, I'll regenerate it. So guys, I'm going to open up another window. I'm just going to say user data sample. I'm going to run some command that will generate a bunch of user names for me. So I'm just going to go to this generate data website. Just gives me some usernames to work with so I don't have to think about it. I'm going to call this name. It's going to generate names, first and last name. And I'm just going to save it as a CVS file with the space as the delimiter. Generate. And I'm going to copy all. And then I'm just going to open Notepad++ and paste it in there. So whenever I need new user accounts, I'll just get it from this list. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is create a new user account. Guys, when we install the RSAT tools on the mail server, it's going to allow us to create new user accounts right from the mail server. I don't have to jump to the main controller to launch Active Directory users in computers. So I'm going to go launch Active Directory users in computers. I'm going to create a new user account. The first one is Cheney Rush. And my naming convention is first initial, last name. Use our default password. This is not a production network, so I'm not concerned about resetting the password. So the first thing we're going to do now is we're going to create a user account. We're going to create a mailbox for an existing user. So I created the user account in Active Directory, and now I want to create a mailbox in Exchange associated with that Active Directory account. So I'm going to do it graphically, and then I'm going to do it in PowerShell. I'm already signed in. So what I can do is go to the recipient field under the mailbox header, drop down. I have user mailbox. When we think of a user mailbox, this is what we normally think of. This is a mailbox for a user account in our forest. This is a mailbox for a user account that's in another forest. It actually creates an Active Directory account locally, but it's disabled. So this is really a mailbox for a user account from another domain, another forest, but we create a second account locally, but that account remains disabled the entire length of that mailbox, the entire life of that mailbox. So what we're going to do is just create a user mailbox. And so I'm going to have the user account name match the alias. So in this case, CRush is the alias, and I'm going to browse for that user account we just created. Right there's the user account we created. It doesn't show administrators because the administrators already has a mailbox, the administrator account. So it's only showing me accounts that don't have mailboxes. Highlight the account, click OK. And if we scroll to the bottom, we have more options. It's now asking which mailbox database server do you want to store that mailbox in. If we had 10 mailbox databases, we could choose which mailbox server that we want. You could set up those mailbox servers, one for one department, another for another department, or you could separate them by the alphabet. And you're just doing this because you have too many mailboxes to fit on one database server. So you're just kind of splitting them up. In our case, we only have one database server. So I'm going to choose Browse, choose our database server, look at the database name. It's not very intuitive. So I'm going to click OK. That's going to come into play later. So I can click Save. And it created that mailbox for me. Now I have two mailboxes, one for the administrator account and one for CRush. So I'm going to do the same thing on the command line interface in PowerShell. So I'm going to open up PowerShell. So I'm going to do this. Enable mailbox identity. I skipped a step, guys. Wait. I need to create another user account. So my next user account is Brody Goodwin. So I'm going to create new user account, Brody Goodwin. B Goodwin. Okay, so I created another user account that we're going to create a mailbox for. Again, what we're doing is we're creating mailboxes for user accounts that already exist. Your organization might have divvied up the job responsibility. It's going to be one person responsible. It's going to be responsible for creating Active Directory accounts, and another one that's going to be responsible for creating the mailboxes. One's a network admin, one's an exchange admin. Or if you're a small company, you might be responsible for doing both. So in this case, what we're doing is one person created the Active Directory account, and your job is to create the mailbox for that Active Directory account. So we're going to run the command enable mailbox. This command is only used when the Active Directory account is already exists. Identity, and we're going to say B Goodwin. The alias is B Goodwin. The database, and I'm going to do this wrong just so you can see it. The database is called, I'm just going to put mail in here just so you can see how it fills. So it's going to give me an error that I don't have a database with that name. So I'm going to do get mailbox. No, I don't want to do that. I'm going to do get mailbox database. This is the name that they want to use right here. If I only have one mailbox server, one mailbox database server, then that's fine. But if I have multiple mailbox databases, it's going to be too confusing to do what I'm about to do. But I'm just going to show you this command as if only in one mailbox server. I can have it grab the mailbox database object and pass it to this switch. And if I do get mailbox now with no other argument, it's going to show me all my mailboxes. Okay, and I can see I now have a Brody Goodwin mailbox. So this probably isn't the most efficient way. The best thing to do would be to have some sort of naming convention for your mailbox. I'm going to show you how you can change a naming convention for your mailbox databases. I'm going to show you how you can change the name of that mailbox database. So I'm going to go over here because I had this open twice. So I'm going to get rid of one of these. If I go down here to servers and go over to databases, I can highlight my database and click the edit button and change the name to whatever my naming convention is. It could be mailbox, Mel01, MX01, whatever your naming convention is. Or I can change it from the PowerShell. Set mailbox database. I'm going to do identity. And the identity is this right here, the name. I'm going to copy it, paste it here. Guys, I'm closing it in quotes so it can handle that white space. So that's the identity. I'm just going to change the name. And I'm just going to do mail. It might be mail01, it might be mail02, it might be MB D for mailbox database. Whatever your naming convention is, I'm just going to leave it at mail. We only have one database. Get mailbox. And now I can see the name is a lot simpler instead of some arbitrary number like it was before. There's no way anyone's going to remember this, especially if you do this all the time. Okay, so guys, I'm going to create another user account in Active Directory and then create it here with my new name. Let's see how that works with the new name. So The next one is Griffith Pearson. I believe that was the name, Griffith. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to do enable mailbox, identity is G Pearson, alias G Pearson dash database is now mail. Okay, guys, we're not supplying a lot of information. If you do this every single day, you're going to want a little script to do that with. So what I'm going to do is open up a new script, and I'm going to a new tab rather, and I'm going to create a script. So I want to pass this script a parameter for the user account name. So I'm going to start my script off with param, and then what I'm going to pass my script will be a string object, and then I'm going to assign it to a variable user. I'll show you how that's passed to that user, to this script, the user account name that we're going to do. And then that's the last parameter. So when I run it, the first parameter I'll put will be assigned to the first variable here. If I have 3 parameters I'm passing, I would have 3 variables, one under the other, and they will be automatically assigned. This is the first parameter, the one underneath would be assigned the second one, that one underneath would be assigned the third one. So this is my parameters section of my script. Now I'm going to list my command. Enable mailbox dash identity will be the username I pass in. The alias, again, will be the user account name I passed in. And the database will be mail. So I'm going to do file, save as. I'm going to put this on my desktop. Create mailbox for existing AD users. I might not have such a long name, but it'll work. So I created this script. Now what I'm going to do is add a new user account to Active Directory, then use my script to create the mailbox. So the next account name is, I'm going to move this over a little bit. Avram McConnell. New user. Probably that's more appropriate. Okay, so there's my user account in Active Directory. Setting the default password. Again, that was done by one person. Now it's going to be my responsibility to come in and create the mailbox. So I'm going to hit dot. That means execute. A single dot alone means execute. Same thing as in Linux. So guys, I'm in my desktop folder, so I just hit tab and it found the script for me. I hit C tab. So it's going to be dot execute. That means execute in the current directory, this script name. Okay. And right after that, I'm going to put in AM AMCCONNELL. That's my user account name. I'm passing it. So when this gets passed into the script, it's going to be assigned to the variable username. If we wanted to, we could even do this. We could put a little message here. Creating a mailbox for $user. I'm going to save that again, just to give me some output. So now I'm going to execute my script. Execute in the local directory, this script name. I want to pass it a user account name of AMCCONNELL and enter. Maybe I typed the user account wrong. Let me check my Active Directory. Oh, I'm sorry. I only put one L here. So it's actually only one L. So there's all my mailboxes I've created so far. Guys, you can give it the script any name that you want. I just did this so it was very self-explanatory as to what this script does. Okay, I'm going to end this video here for now. What we've done was create user accounts. We created mailbox rather for existing Active Directory accounts, meaning we created the user account outside of the Exchange server. If I wanted to, within my Exchange server, I can create my Active Directory account and my mailbox at the same time. That's going to be the next video that I create. So I'm going to stop this video here now and upload this to YouTube. Thank you.